Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Today is Haunting Adeline Day, baby. Oh, I've been waiting just like y'all been waiting. I've been waiting all week for this. I can't wait. Oh, trust me. I'm excited to see what goes on. Our girl Adeline, she is in distress right now. Woo! Man, they keep drugging her and doing all this crazy stuff. And then you got our boy Zayd. He done met our new villain. Oh, man. Apparently she crazy. I'm excited to get into more of her backstory and how a woman is running a human trafficking ring. That's a little weird to me. It's like you would think a guy would be doing that, not a woman. But hey, teach its own, you know what I mean? But without further ado, though, before we get into Haunting Adeline, you know what we got? We got a thread. We're going to get through the thread. And this one is pretty interesting. What is the dumbest thing to break up with your partner over? All right. So let's see what stupid shit y'all be breaking up with your partners for. I'm sure it's justified. I'm sorry. I'm breaking up with you because you're not married yet. Takes the cake for me, nigga. What? Huh? All right, hold on. There's more. She wasn't upset that she and I weren't getting married. She thought it was a huge red flag that I had been the best man in several weddings and wasn't married yet. She thought it was really weird because of a lot of my peers were married. If I wasn't married, there had to be some underlying cause. In reality, I was 24 and the people I was best man for were two of my cousins. One was 32 and the other was 34. My friend from college, age 29, and my friend from work who was 32. I even asked her if she was upset that I hadn't talked about the possibility of marriage with her. We were dating 3 to 4 months at that time, nigga. 3 to 4 months. Bro, come on. And she said no, it was too early, but just couldn't get over it. 6 years later, and I'm still not married. Neither is she, but I've heard from a mutual friend that she's still confused that I'm not married yet. What do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? What do you think we're doing? We are in a relationship to get to know each other and be lovey-dovey and stuff like that. And then eventually I'm going to feel like, oh my God, you're super special. Will you marry me? Like, bro, what do you think I'm doing? That is the biggest mind meld ever. I'm like, what? The fact that he's been the best man at so many people's weddings, I think would be a good thing. Why? Because it shows that your man is a good friend. He's an honest guy. He's somebody that people trust. And come on, what the fuck is... If I was her, I'd have been like, yo, my man is the man. Like, he's doing his thing. And then they've been only dating for 3 to 4 months. She probably didn't really like him like that. That's probably what it is. She probably didn't like him like that. Like, let's be real. You know what I mean? She needed an excuse to break up with this nigga. Let's be honest here. Because there ain't no way. There ain't no way a woman is about to be doing some shit like that. Like, come on. Let's keep it hundo P here. I'm just saying. All right, okay. Well, all right. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with someone? Already committed in this thread, just remembered another one. I was dating this girl for almost 4 months. From our first date, we spent nights at each other's place. Through the week, met up most every weekend and attended parties as a couple. It was casual and there had been no official asking each other out, but we agreed that we were seeing each other. One weekend, approaching 4 months since we started dating, by just a few days, we went away to stay in an Airbnb in the countryside. We had a lovely weekend and it almost didn't happen as I was having trouble booking that weekend off work. The day before we were due to go home, we were walking around the village and she asked how I got the day off. I told her I had come clean to my manager and said I was going away for the weekend with my girlfriend. I explained it was simpler and I was more likely to get them than if I had been vague or given some other excuse/reason. Facts. He's an honest guy. He was just like, why am I going to lie to my boss? I might as well just be honest with them so they'd give me the day off. You would think that'd just be like green flag to a girl, but she was just like, I don't know about that. Like, what? come on, man. There was an immediate shift in her mood, and when she swung past the place we were staying, she said she wanted to grab a bottle of water quickly from the fridge, so I waited outside in the sun. She came out with her bags and said, sorry, but I do not want to be called someone's girlfriend. Walked down the road into the local train station and got on the train home. What? That. Huh? We agreed we're seeing each other, no? What happened? We agreed. I'm seeing you, you're seeing me. Seeing me, seeing you seeing me, you, and all the good stuff. What the fuck? Bro, I would have just been like, I clearly only said my girlfriend just so that way they understood our, dynamic. It was the easiest way to kind of explain, like, hey, like, this is the girl. I couldn't be like, oh yeah, this girl I'm seeing. Like, that would just be weird. So I was just like, my girlfriend. Like, huh? All right, man. I guess so. I guess. I'm at a loss for words, if I'm being honest with you, because simply, why would it be weird? We're seeing each other. We agreed to that. You don't want the label. I would be destroyed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd be destroyed, especially if I'm about to like go out on a trip with you. You know what I mean? I got off work for this. My boss was like, yeah, man, go get you some booty, dog. Yeah, do your thing. Everybody's expecting me to come back to work and be like, hey, what's up, Casanova? What's going on, brother? And she left me at the train station. Like, Like, bro, imagine that, though. Like, that would be so heartbreaking. I don't know, man. Poor guy. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? My sister once broke up with a man because he didn't like her new sofa. What? Her new what? What was it uncomfortable? Did he feel like he couldn't bang her on it? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? Who gives a shit about a sofa, man? And to him, it's like, bro, you lie. You lie. What are you doing? Even if you don't like the sofa, you just be like, yeah, babe, it's great. It's fantastic. That was an amazing purchase. I cannot believe you actually purchased this. You're so great. Like, come on, man, you lie. It's a sofa. Who cares? Who cares if you're lying? It's a fucking sofa. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesus Christ on a motorbike. Okay, all right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? Some people really can't handle any time apart. I knew a couple break up literally because the guy worked and the woman was resentful he wasn't with her all day. Even when they were together, she'd insist on doing everything with him. She could even wait 2 minutes in the car while he paid for gas. She'd be out and on his ass, so eventually they broke up because she got into a screaming match with him over picking something up from his mom's house without her. Happened right out on the street. Bro was gone for like 17 minutes. She thought he went off to hump a stranger or something. Baby girl, 17 minutes? Really? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like, you can't be without me for 17 minutes. You can't be without me just to leave the car to pump gas. Like, girl, you are out your mind. You need some help. God damn. Like, come on.
Stop it. Get some help.
Please, because that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? I would break up with her ass too, bro. Like, come on. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? We weren't dating, but we were considering it. He called me because it was the anniversary of a friend's death and he just wanted to talk to someone. He started crying, then immediately apologizing and said, "Men don't cry." I told him it was fine and men have emotions too. He explained that wasn't how he was raised, then hung up. I never heard from him again. Seriously made me rethink men's mental health and how society treats them, though. I mean, he probably got it in his head that he was just like, fuck, I cried in front of her. She ain't gonna respect me. She ain't gonna see me as a man no more. When it's like, bro, you could have just, I get it. It's a friend's death. Like, I would understand if you're crying over some mediocre shit. You know what I mean? Oh, I just had a bad day and it was just, nah, man, suck that shit up and move on. You know, oh, work was just so busy today. Suck that shit up and move on. You are crying over the death of a friend. I would never, to no capacity, I don't care if you're a man, woman, I don't give a shit. You are crying over somebody dying. It is justified to every length imaginable, because there is nothing, and I mean nothing, worse than a friend, a family member, someone you know, a coworker, whatever, passing away. That is something that you can never hold over somebody. That is something you can never be mad at somebody for. Like, the death of somebody is crazy. You know what I mean? And the emotions that go on, and knowing that person's never going to see that person again. Like, come on, man. I think she would have understood with that one. You know what I mean? She would have understood with that one. That's kind of crazy. The fact that dude just hung up and was just like, man, don't cry. Goodbye. Like, what? Either that or he used this as a way to stop talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, he was probably just like, yeah, you know, Sarah, she kind of a hoe, bro. I gotta find some way. He was like, yo. Cry to her on the phone, man. Cry to her on the phone and then just hang up, stop talking to her. It'll be perfect. And he was like, you know what? You're right. You know what I mean? Like, could be. You never know. He might have been kind of low-key not wanting to talk to you for a minute, and he's just like, I need an excuse. Yeah. That could have been it too. All right. On to our next one. What's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? I refused to send her a set of number of texts a day, commenting on how beautiful she was and described how I was thinking about her regardless of what I was doing. She wanted a minimum of 4 of these texts per day with a maximum time limit between them I had to adhere to. Okay. See, a lot of women be talking about dudes are narcissistic and all this. Nah, man. Nah. There ain't nothing worse than a narcissistic woman. That is crazy. She said, you have to send me a minimum of 4 messages about how beautiful I am. They have to be within the span of 15 minutes because I obviously need you to be texting me all the time and telling me how beautiful I am all the time. Like, what the fuck is going on here? No. I would have just been like, no thanks. You could tell yourself that. You know what I mean? Because you're pretty on the outside, but God, you're disgusting on the inside. That is crazy. That's like a hoarder's home. You know, it looks completely normal on the outside. You walk in that bitch and there's trash everywhere. Like, that is you. That's crazy that you need that kind of attention in a relationship. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. Come on, man. All right. Yeah, bullet dodge on that bad boy. All right. What's the dumbest thing to break up with your partner for? I got broken up with once by a guy who said he wanted a partner in crime to go see bands with. I was in the middle of finishing my music degree, and all I ever did for fun was go see live music. Perfect, right? That's perfect. It's 13 years later, and I've traveled the world seeing my favorite bands. This year, I saw a concert weeks after my C-section. I still have no fucking clue what that guy was on about. You really could not find a girl who goes to more concerts and loves music more than me. Oh, he broke up with you saying, I need a partner in crime and someone to go see music with. Okay, that makes sense. Again, all right. And you were that archetype. Yeah, no, he didn't like you that much. Hey, let's be honest. He didn't like you that much. He was just like, she's cool, but I need a reason to get about this bitch. Like, that's what it is. He didn't like you that much. Like, come on, man. Some girls just don't know how to take an L nowadays. It's like, bro, he clearly didn't like you that much. You know what I mean? Because girls be doing shit like that too. Like, they will say things but mean something else. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you have to read between the lines kind of shit. Guys do it too. It's just girls sit there and they'll take it literally and they'll just be like, oh yeah, no, he was totally into me. It was just, he was being weird. Like, no, nigga just wasn't into you. That's what it was. It wasn't that you weren't his road dog and you didn't want to see music venues with him and all that kind of stuff. No. He just wasn't into you. That's what it was. He was just like, you fugly and I don't want to talk to you anymore. His words, not mine. You should have read between the lines on that one, baby girl. Come on now. You know what I mean? If you're exactly what he's saying that you're not, and that's what he's looking for, odds are he didn't like you that much. let's keep it hundo P out in this camp. Man. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your partner for? There is a Reddit legendary post on Am I the Asshole about a guy who broke up with his girlfriend because she insisted on eating his beans. What? He was upset that he would wake up and there were no more beans in the fridge. Unfortunately, I don't have the print anymore. This girl must have been farting up a storm. Yo, I would break up with her too. I'd be like, yo, baby, hold up. You out here blowing up the bed with your fart cannon. That's craziness. You are blowing up the bed with your fart cannon. I would stop buying beans. I would just stop buying beans, bro. And anytime I bought beans, I'd relabel the can or something. That way she don't know that it's not, it's not beans or that it is beans or whatever. Like, bro, come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all be staying with girls for just the weirdest, craziest reasons, man. I could never do it. God damn, man. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your partner for? Choosing pink Post-it notes instead of yellow. I'm sorry, I thought pink would have been a refreshing change, but no, you didn't like the change, did you? Fucking shit me off like that. So she broke up with you because you bought pink Post-it notes. There's got to be more to this story. There's got to be more to that. I would love to ask her, like, was it really about the Post-it notes? Or was this just the proverbial camel broke the thing that broke the camel's back or whatever you want to say it? Like, what was going on actually? Because there had to have been more than just Post-it. There's no chick on this planet that's breaking up with a dude over some Post-it notes, my guy. Come on, man. You was doing something else. You was being a little shady. You probably was flirting with the cashier, you know what I mean, at the local store or something. Like, you had to been doing something else, bro. I'm not buying it. All right, I'm not buying it that you got dumped over Post-it notes. I ain't buying it, my guy. All right, let's keep this hundo P, and I hope you're hearing this because I'm not buying it. You were probably a shitty boyfriend, and that's probably why she broke up with you. And that was proverbial breakage of the camel's back, and she was like, all right, you know what, man? I'm done with you. Done with you. Should have got yellow, but your dumbass got pink, and I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, come on, man. I ain't buying that shit. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your partner for? A friend once broke up with his girlfriend because she ate pizza with a fork and knife. He said that he couldn't trust her judgment after that. I mean, so? What? So what if she wants to eat pizza with a fucking... I mean, I get it. It's weird, but I mean, I wouldn't break up with a girl if we went and got burgers and she busted out a fork and knife and wanted to eat her burger with a fork and knife. I'm like, to each its own. You know, like, that's fine. It might be a thing where she doesn't want to, like, mess up her makeup or something, you know? Like, maybe she has some lipstick on and she doesn't want to smear it or something. Like, there are reasons people do shit, you know? Like, and if people are just doing it for no reason, I wouldn't even think they're doing it for no reason, because I'm sure they either grew up like that, they were taught to do that. You know, I don't know. She probably thought she was just being really ladylike, and she's just like, I don't want to look disgusting in front of this guy. You know what I mean? Because I really like him, and I don't want to look weird, like I'm a fat ass stuffing myself or something. That could have been a thing too. Like, you never know. He was just like, no, I can't trust you. Nope, no, I can't trust you. You eat pizza, you eat a hand food with fucking fork and knife. Nah, I'm good. That's like getting a thing of fries and eating it with a fork. Like, you're crazy. Hey, people do this shit. You know? All right, man. All right, what's the dumbest thing to break up with someone for? Or, hold on, what's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? Not me, but my friend. She smiled to homeless guy and handed him money. He accidentally touched her hand. He got jealous and had a big fight with her, ending up with a broke up. Okay, God, you need to learn how to fucking write. Had a big fight with her, ended up with a broke up, and he the one who's playing like victim. All right. I'm going to start reading this shit verbatim for you bitch ass motherfuckers, because y'all be like, you can't read. No, that's how they write it. Okay? All right, fuck out of here. That's how they write it. Fuck out. Bitch ass motherfuckers. But that's weird. Why would you be intimidated by a homeless man touching your girl's hand? That's weird as fuck. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really like my girl around homeless people anyway. I think that is crazy, and the motherfuckers got nothing to lose, and they are willing to SA a girl. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck if I'm there. Nah. I ain't about to do that. You want to give her $1, or you want to give him $1? You gonna give me the $1, and then I'll give it to him. Like, fuck out of here. You're not about to give this homeless man $1. You don't know what this man's gonna do. He pulls you in, and then he's got you held up, and now I gotta fight the guy. Nah. If you want to give this old poor nigga $1, give me the $1, and I'll give it to him. Cause I ain't about to do that shit. He's got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? That man's got nothing to lose. I'm not about to put you in that kind of situation. But see, women don't think about that shit. You know, they don't really think about that stuff. They just walk around, la da da, everything is great, you know. But guys, we think about that shit. We're like, no. If you put yourself in a situation that doesn't even seem like it's precarious or anything that bad could happen, we as men have to think about the worst case scenario. Because in that kind of situation, yeah, it could happen. This man has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. And he looks at it like, if I go to jail and I got to touch some titty, I'm all about it. You know, he's like, worth it. This 3 years I'm about to spend in jail, worth it. You know, and you got groped up by a homeless man. And whose fault is it? Mine. Why? Because I didn't fucking take precaution to make sure that didn't happen. So no, you're not about to give money to a homeless man. You're going to give that money to me, and then I'm going to give it to him. That way he ain't even getting near you. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. It's craziness. Yeah. So I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that. What's the dumbest thing to break up with your significant other for? My friend once broke up with someone because they chewed too loudly. It sounds silly, but sometimes the little things can really get to us. Yeah, that could be annoying. I couldn't date a girl who chews with her mouth open. Sorry. I can't do that. If you are smacking in my face, no, I'm good. If we're at dinner and you're like, no, I can't do that shit. No, thanks. And she's like, how's your day? How's you been? Nah, fuck that. I can't do it. If I can visibly see the chewed up food in your mouth, no thanks. You're chewing way too hard. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you need to take smaller bites or something, because that's crazy work. That's crazy work, okay? That's nasty. If I can see the food in your fucking mouth, that's nasty. Nah, bro, nah. I'm good on that. I'm absolutely good on that. All right, this is going to be our last one for this thread, and then we're going to get into haunting Adeline. All right, second date, we were sitting in a crowded place of his choosing where I could barely hear him. He asked if I wanted to go for a walk, but his foot was broken, so I said only if he's okay with being... Hold on. I said only if he's okay to be walking that long, but I'm okay to move if he's uncomfortable. We didn't end up going on the walk, but we moved seats. He sent me a text later saying it wouldn't work out because I seem like an unkind person for not noticing that the person next to him was making eating noises and asked him to move before he did. Also later found out that he sat his mom down and told her everything. We talked about word for word, so I guess I dodged a bullet. Now, talking to your mom about it, that's fine. That's cool. I do that shit all the damn time. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I go out on a date with you, I'm telling my mom about it because I need to understand what the fuck was going on in your head. You know, like I don't know. I'm not a woman. I don't know these things. So I need a person who has an unbiased opinion. That's, you know what I mean? Because if I ask a friend, man, she's going to give a biased ass opinion and she's going to be hiding shit and acting stupid. Nah, my mom's going to give me the real sauce. She's going to tell me like, yeah, nah, you know, she doing this and she doing that and she really thinking this and she really thinking that. Like, let's keep it hundo P, all right? Let's be real. Let's keep it 100,000 in this camp. But as far as like him being like, you're unkind and you didn't tell the guy next to me that was eating loud to move, that's weird. Okay? That's fucking weird. Like, what, bro? You're stupid. What the fuck are you thinking? You asked her to walk. She was just trying to be considerate of you. And you could have just been like, yeah, no, we're good. Let's move out. Let's go move it, you know? Let's go move somewhere else. Like, and then on top of that, you're on a date with a girl. It's like, you're the dude. You should be leading the interaction and leading what to do next and where to go. And like, come on, man. And, you know, like, you would think, like, this is basic ass date etiquette. And you're over here expecting the girl to do it? Like, of course she ain't gonna call you back. She was probably already thinking, like, thank God you said something because I wasn't gonna call you back. Fuck are we talking about, man? Like, I don't know. I think that's mad weird. You know what I mean? That's mad weird. The fact that he was just like, you're unkind. Like, okay, whatever, man. But hope you guys enjoyed that thread. Let me know what you think about that thread down in the comments. If you have a dumb situation where you gotten broken up with or you've broken up with somebody in a dumb way, put it down in the comments. I definitely love to hear about it. Without further ado, though, we're going to be getting into Haunting Adeline. I'll hop into announcements super quick, and we're going to go right into Haunting Adeline. So patreon.com/MyLastPodcast, get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday shows. If you're on listening platforms, download the show as well as rating us 5 stars. Helps out a lot. And guess what? It's for free. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, as well as the YouTubes. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into Haunting Adeline. Hopefully I made that quick and concise for you guys. All right. Let's see here.
Chapter 3. The Hunter. Claire is screaming from up front to keep driving, but the engine stalls. I kick Patrick's dead body off of me and stand, perspiration coating my skin. I'm 0.2 seconds away from passing the fuck out. My body is beginning to shut down from the physical trauma, but I can't allow it to just yet. Jay quickly unbuckles and stands. "Come on, they're waiting for us," he urges, noting the state of duress I'm in. "I need to take care of Claire," I say. But that notion dies the second we bust open the van doors. Other cars have already stopped on the side of the road, getting out of their vehicles to check on us. Fuck. I can't kill a woman in front of civilians, no matter how tempted I am. Just as Jay and I crawl out, Claire emerges from the passenger side, a wild look on her face.
"Don't you dare!"
She hisses through her teeth. Red lipstick stains them, giving her a feral look. Or what? When she has no answer, I shoot her a wink, just to get her asshole clenching from anger, and head towards the huge military-grade van waiting for me. "Hey man, you good?" A passerby asks. Yep, all good. Thanks for stopping, I say over my shoulder. The bright headlights from his car highlight the incredulous look on his face as he watches me climb into the open doors. Michael's face greets me, and I nearly sigh in relief. If he's alive, that means the little girl we saved from the ritual is too. He leans forward and helps me in, assumingly noticing the agony painted on my face. I can feel my scars tightening. Now, incapable of concealing the misery, my poker face is cracked. I'm ready to let Jesus take the wheel. The second I collapse on the bench, Michael pounds once on the wall and we take off. We need to get him to a hospital, Jace says, glancing at me with concern. A bomb went off, and Zaid was within range of the blast. Why the fuck did they set off a bomb? Michael asks. My guess is it was one of the self-destruct bombs, implanted specifically to destroy all evidence and anyone inside. They're commonly in places with top-secret information in case they're infiltrated or compromised. I grunt. We'll have to check in with who was impacted by the explosion and make sure none of ours were killed. Jay nods, and I turn my attention to Michael. You get the girl out safely? Yep, he confirms. With Ruby, and on her way to get treatment. I nod. Some of the pressure easing off my shoulders, but not nearly enough. It's like the Empire State Building is resting on them, and only a penny fell off. They still have Addie, and the rage is steadily churning beneath the surface. I'm going to burn the entire fucking world down until I find her, and I don't care who gets burnt. Do we know anything about who was involved in her kidnapping? I ask, voice tight with fury, clicking off the video on my laptop. I just finished watching the surveillance footage of Addie's car crash, caught by several streetlight cams. Watching her being dragged from her car, knocked out, then carried into the van has me shaking with rage. Jay is already working on tracking it through street and security cams, but it doesn't feel like enough. I've only been admitted in the hospital for a few hours, and I'm seconds away from leaving again. Thankfully, I didn't suffer any serious damage. My entire back is black and blue from when I was propelled into the altar, but there wasn't any internal bleeding like I had feared. I got lucky. I didn't break my goddamn back, but I damn near came close to it. Her picture was posted to a forum on the dark web a day before she was taken. The poster was anonymous, of course, but the ad reads that if anyone brings Addie in alive, then they'd receive a fucking massive reward. How much? But I don't even need him to answer. I've already located the original ad, which has since been deleted, but nothing is ever truly erased from the internet. I click the ad and Addie's face pops up. Beautiful, unusually light brown eyes, cinnamon hair, and a light dusting of freckles peppering her nose and cheeks. My heart clenches at her smiling face, the same picture used as her author photo outside the bookstore, and the very one that instantly drew me into her. It still has the same effect on me as it did then. The price tag is listed right beneath it in bold red letters. $12 million. Pocket change to those handing it out, but an incredible amount to the smaller fish in the pond, an amount that someone would have to work hard to spend in their lifetime. Fuck, I mutter, pinching the bridge of my nose between my fingers. A massive migraine is blooming, and restlessness invades my senses. I want to claw out of my own skin, if only it means Addie will be waiting for me on the other side. Jay's lips are tense. I know who answered the ad, and who was responsible for her kidnapping. I drop my hand and pin a look to my right-hand man, waiting for him to drop the proverbial bomb. Dread washes over me, and I have a feeling this one might actually succeed in killing me. Max, he says quietly. My eyes close and my control finally shatters, slipping through my fingers like sand in an hourglass. It was only a matter of time, and the last grain has now fallen. Inky black darkness corrodes every cell in my body until there is no light left within me. Red consumes my vision, and I snap into motion. My laptop is launched across the hospital room. The loud crash from it slamming through equipment and into the wall swallowed by the roar ripping from my throat. I convulse violently from the force of the piercing wail falling past my lips, so long and sorrowful that it tapers off into a silent scream. Heaving in a breath again, another thunderous cry explodes out of me as I grab the bedside table and launch that next. Without sight, the IV pole follows, whipping it towards a window and nearly shattering it from the force. The pinch from the needle being torn from my skin imperceptible. My hearing goes after that as if I'm underwater and all sound is diluted. The tide batters into me, drawing me into its clutches and sending me spiraling down into the black pit of despair at the bottom. My hands grab at more equipment, all of it crashing to the tile as anguish tears through my chest. This is my fault, all my fucking fault. Just as I stand, muffled shouting arises, and I feel several sets of hands grab my body at once and shove me back down. I fight against their hold, continuing to roar, but my blindness works against me. Straps circle around my wrists and chest, imprisoning me to the hospital bed, but I'm too far gone. Despite the frantic hands attempting to hold me down beneath the binds, my legs swing over the bed and I stand, straining against the weight, threatening to take me back down. Jesus, aid! My chest heaves and my vision becomes spotty, allowing me only snippets of my blurred surroundings. 4 frightened nurses and Jay crowding me, eyes wide and faces pale as I stand before them with a nearly 200-pound bed strapped to my back. I am no longer a man, only a beast succumbing to primal instinct. I am annihilation.
Sir, please calm down.
One of the nurses pleads shrilly, her green eyes nearly black with fear. I pant, my chest tight from lack of oxygen, and the strap straining against my chest. I can't. She's gone because of me. How am I supposed to fucking live with that? I shake my head, my energy depleting steadily. Words evade me, and I stumble, struggling to right myself. Unstrap him, Jay demands sharply, already aiming for the one secured around my chest. He waits until one of the nurses unclips them from my hands before he releases the buckle. The bed falls to the ground with a deafening boom. Security guards come barreling into the room, skidding across the cluttered tile when they see the absolute carnage. Jay gets in my face and shouts, "Quit acting like a fucking lunatic and get it together. Trashing a hospital isn't going to save her." My vision clears, and the wreckage becomes apparent. Shit. That potent fury is still present, spewing from my pores, but I manage to keep it in check, enough that it just steams. "What the hell?" a security guard says, his young face painted with utter disbelief.
He's okay.
A nurse huffs out. She's an older woman with short blonde hair and large wire-rimmed glasses that take up half her face. She approaches me like one would a crocodile with its mouth wide open, her hand steady as she grabs my arm and lifts it. A tiny trail of blood leaks down my arm from where the IV was ripped out, stemming from a tear in my skin no longer than half an inch.
That is a nasty wound, sir. You better sit down so I can fix you up before you keel over and die where you stand.
She orders, her voice stern as she points me toward the skewed bed. It's just a scratch, and we both know that, but I sit anyway. I watch her as she grabs a bandage from a cupboard and begins to blot the blood. A few of the guards question Jay and one of the nurses, while the other 2 rush from the room, red and shaking. I can't manage to feel an ounce of guilt. Not when there's a black hole in my chest where Addie once took up residence.
Want to talk about it?
She asks quietly, dabbing up the blood with a piece of gauze. "No," I mutter.
Well?
She titters, sticking a small Band-Aid on my arm next. It has dinosaurs on it, and all I can do is stare. If I didn't feel so empty, I'd laugh at how pathetic it looks.
You can either tell me or tell the police. And I know you're a big, burly man. You've gone out of your way to prove that part. and police officers probably don't scare you, but I'd rather you spend the rest of your time in this hospital, not handcuffed to a bed.
I pause. I'll just stand up again and walk out with it. She looks up at me and then a chuckle slips past her pink lips.
That's fair. You have your heart broken?
I raise a brow, and though she has to work to swallow, she doesn't relent. I soften my face and sigh. Right now, I appreciate her candor. You could say that. I sniff, rolling my arm to look at the Band-Aid again. There are green T-Rexes, mouths open in a roar. I imagine I didn't look much different not 2 minutes ago. She was taken, kidnapped. The nurse gasps, quiet and soft, but it feels like a shout when I'm so hollow. It's my fault. I trail off, deciding it's best not to tell her that I didn't kill a man who I should have a long time ago. I need to get her back. She blows out a shaky breath and straightens.
I'll make sure no charges are pressed so you can save her.
She points to the Band-Aid.
Maybe no more life-threatening injuries, yeah?
I grace her with a strange smile and assure. I'll pay for the damages.
That would be appreciated,
she says. I nod and turn my attention to the ground. The white tile blurs as I feel her presence leave, replaced with Jay's. I know where he is, he murmurs. I look up at him, murder in my eyes. He tightens his lips, knowing I'm not going to settle down. Let your body heal, man. You'll be useless otherwise. We'll get him and find where they took her the second you're not broken anymore. You may be able to move now, but the next few days are going to hit hard, especially now that you walked around with a big-ass bed on your back. You're very injured back, might I add. The longer I wait, the more likely she is to disappear, to suffer and have unimaginable things happen to her. I argue through clenched teeth. The muscle in my jaw is nearly ripping through my flesh from how hard I'm grinding them. He bends down and puts his hands on my shoulders, dipping his chin until he catches my eyes. I glare at him, wanting to go back to not being able to hear or see anything. Jay is stupidly brave and doesn't back down. I promise you, man, I will have the team looking for her. I will do everything in my power to get us closer to her. The intensity in his words and stare is easing my anxiety as much as it's capable, which is microscopic. I'll never be able to relax, to not feel my insides twisting into knots and the panic gnawing at my heart until there's nothing left. I know my body is going to give out on me, but nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to keep me from finding her. Clenching my fists, I nod. I have no plans to stay in this hospital, to stay still. But arguing right now isn't going to change anything at the moment. I need rest, lots of it, because the second I open my eyes, I won't close them again until Max's head is in my hands. You can't just bust down the door all willy-nilly, Zaid. The fuck I can't, I bark, glowering at Jay as he meticulously paints his nails eggplant purple from the seat next to my hospital bed. It's the 5th day, and I'm green in the face with anxiety and frustration. I made 5 escape attempts within the first 2 days, but they kept knocking my ass out with drugs to the point where I completely lost time. I stopped escaping because I'd rather be semi-useful behind a computer than be dead to the world and not be doing anything at all. The only other reason I gave in was that I was physically incapable of even squeezing my ass cheeks without my vision going black with pain. I may not have suffered any life-threatening injuries, but my body is sure acting like it did. Jay curses softly under his breath when he gets a dot of nail polish on his skin, poking his tongue out as he carefully wipes the paint off. My new computer is on my lap, the camera feed showing Max and the twins, Landon and Luke, lounging in his office, drinking expensive scotch and probably laughing over the big deposit that just came through to his bank account. $12 million, the price for kidnapping Addie. You know he didn't do it himself, Jay reminds me, and then holds up his hands to marvel over his work. I sigh, the veins in my hands popping as I clench them tight. I know, I seethe. Max and the twins were at a club when Addie was kidnapped. Which means he knew where to find her and hired grunt men to do the work, and that means whoever he hired will most likely be receiving a cut from his reward. A job like that wouldn't come without a high price, and though Max has money, he doesn't have that much, not until today at least. Now we're waiting for him to transfer whatever sum of cash to the lackeys he promised it to. Then we'll be able to trace the money trail and confirm their identities based on the account information. If we're lucky, Max is as dumb as he looks and doesn't hide his tracks well enough. Jay will handle that part while I take care of Max. I could send in another mercenary to torture the information out of him, but this method will be much faster, and I refuse to let anyone else touch him except me. Only I will show Max what pain truly feels like. Even then, he will only feel a fraction of what I feel without Addie. I roll my neck, groaning as it cracks. When I look back down, an alert comes through. $3 million has just been transferred to an offshore account. It takes me 2 seconds to find the name attached to it. Rick Borman. Through the camera feed, Max is now setting down his phone, and then cheers, clinking his whiskey glass with the twins. I look up at Jay, rolling my eyes as he blows softly on his wet fingernails. He's going to chip the paint in 2 seconds with the amount of typing he does, which is why the colors change every couple of days. He's a nail-biter, and the polish helps keep that habit at bay, though it's been virtually useless these past 5 days. As much as he's trying to play it cool, Addie being gone has him crippled with anxiety. He's only seen her through a computer screen, but he doesn't need to know her in order to know that she doesn't deserve this, and if she were to die, the world would die with her. For now, I will begin with Max.
June 11th, 2008. I want to die. The only thing keeping me alive is my sister. I haven't said her name, not here, and not out loud. Layla. It hurts to even write it out, to look at her name and know that she's so far away from me, suffering as I am, just in a very different way. She's only 1 year old, you know? Still a baby. Mom doesn't take care of her, feed her, change her, love her. Layla needs me. I'm getting out of here. Molly.
Chapter 4. The Diamond.
I can save you.
Something shakes me, sending fresh waves of pain spearing through my consciousness.
Wake up, I can save you.
The voice penetrates the deep fog swirling in my brain. Blackness surrounds me, and it feels like I'm floating in a starless galaxy, but an icy chill is snaking throughout my body, warning me of something dangerous. A hand is on my arm, and it roughly jostles me again.
There's not much time left. I need you to wake up. I will help you.
A fissure of light cracks through the never-ending darkness. I focus on the light, and as someone continues to jolt my body, the crack widens until blinding light pierces my eyes. I groan, clarity beginning to surface. The firm grip on my arm tightens, and the voice rousing me from sleep amplifies. I'm shaken once more, and the harsh movement finally jerks me awake. My eyes snap open, and for reasons I'm not sure of yet, my heart is beating out of my chest, pounding against my ribcage as violently as the person who had been shaking me. An old, wrinkled face and dull blue eyes come into focus, only a few inches away from mine. I rear back, blinking at him with panic and confusion. "What's going on?" I choke out. Within seconds, reality comes crashing down, and I'm reminded why I'm here, who I'm with. I was in a car accident, ran off the road, and then was kidnapped and brought to a doctor who clearly practices illegally. Dr. Garrison. The man who is currently in my face, staring at me with urgency.
I'm going to help you. Please get up.
The bone-chilling cold that penetrated the fog worsens as his hand grabs onto mine and pulls me forward. I yelp in response, the aches in my body have increasingly gotten worse. It feels like a hot poker is being stabbed into every one of my nerve endings.
I know it hurts, sweetheart, but we have to hurry before Rio comes back.
He gently tugs on me again, and it's then that I notice the IV has been removed from my arm. I resist, and in an effort to stall, I ask, How long have I been out?
Only for a night, sweetheart. Now get up, please.
Leaving me with no other choice, he helps me up, rushing me forward while attempting to handle me carefully. Where are we going? I'm nearly frantic, and confusion is muddling my thoughts. Mainly, I can't figure out why the hell he's helping me. Isn't he in on this too? It's then he looks at me, a crazed smile on his face.
I'm going to take you somewhere safe. No one will ever find you, I promise.
A rock forms in my throat, and I work to swallow as my situation becomes more apparent. No one will ever find you. He may be saving me from Rio and Rick, but that doesn't mean I won't need saving from him, too. Why are you doing this? I breathe, my eyes bouncing across the room, searching for a solution to get me out of this very big problem. There's only one exit that I can see, and he's leading me straight toward it. For all I know, he's going to lock me in a box and feed me through a glory hole. The image disturbs me so profoundly that I think I'd rather take my chances with Rio and Rick.
I became a doctor because I like taking care of people, but the hospitals never let me take care of my patients the way I wanted.
My heart drops, and he peers at me demurely like a little boy admitting his crush to the prettiest girl in grade school. His smooth, cold hand slips into mine, holding it like he's about to drop to one knee and ask me to marry him.
I want to take care of you, sweetie. I'll treat you better than these people ever will. I promise I'll be good to you.
My mouth opens, but no sound escapes. The fuck does he expect me to say to that? Yes, please, whisk me away to your creepy lair. Nothing would make me happier. I want him to let me go home, not into the arms of another creep that will trap me for the rest of my life. Taking a step back, I carefully pry my hand from his grip. His face drops, and hurt flashes in his pale blue eyes as he watches my fingers slip from his. He acts as if he did get down on one knee, and I've just rejected his proposal. I'm not sure that's a good idea. They'll know it was you, I say, attempting to reason with him. I don't want to reject him flat out. His mental state seems unhinged at best, and I have no idea what this man is truly capable of. He shakes his head, swoops my hand rather angrily, and tugs on me. I bite back another cry as he explains with impatience.
Not if we hurry. I have a plan. I just need you to come with me.
When he continues to drag me after him, my fight-or-flight instincts kick in. Pain be damned, I yank my hand out of his hold and scramble back. No, I don't want to go with you, I snap. His face morphs into a snarling demon, and that coldness radiating from him crystallizes. This man is dead on the inside. He's no more than an icy, decaying tomb. I feel the burst of pain lancing across my cheek before I register him moving. My head whips to the side and fire erupts on the side of my face. I gasp, my mouth popping open while I clutch my smarting cheek, feeling something wet coat my fingers. Pulling my hand away, I find several drops of blood staining my skin. He backhanded me with a fucking ring on. A wedding ring. A cocktail of disgust and fury curdles in the pit of my stomach, but I keep my mouth shut. This is a very precarious situation, and I no longer have the luxury of doing or saying whatever the hell I want without severe consequences. And as much as I'm tempted to throw down with the old fart, I can hardly move. Shit, Addie, think. He's breathing heavily, fury evident on his ruddy face. It's like staring into the eyes of a corpse, animated only by the evil inside him.
I would treat you like a queen. You would want for nothing.
He spits vehemently, slashing a hand through the air angrily with his last word. I nod my head. Okay, I placate gently. But you're scaring me just as much as they do. His spine straightens, and I watch the rage bleed from his stare, like it just now dawned on him that he's acting like a goddamn lunatic. So quickly, his face transitions from hysteria to sheepish understanding.
You're right. I'm sorry,
he says, taking a step forward.
If I'm going to get you out safely, we need to hurry, and you're not cooperating.
I tense, but refrain from retreating as he grabs my hands in an apologetic manner.
I'm sorry I slapped you, sweetheart. I'm just trying to help you. Please come with me. I promise you'll be happy with me.
The panic and adrenaline heightened to dangerous levels, causing my heart to thump painfully against my chest. It's hard to fucking think when he's staring at me so eagerly, and my entire body feels like it's been pushed through a fucking meat grinder. But this could be the perfect opportunity to escape if I play my cards right. I need to get out with as minimal noise as possible so I don't alert the Terror Twins, which leaves me with 2 options. Hit this clown over the head and run, or let him take me away and find a different way out. Regardless, I'm not staying here. Okay, I whisper, wheezing in a breath through my tight lungs. When he sees me visibly relax, he quickly follows suit, victory sparking in his icy pools. Grabbing my hand again, he urges me toward the door with a flickering red exit sign above. I glance around, shivering from the cold dankness of the room. Everything in here is gray and diluted, and the light fixtures whirring above are corroded with dust and bug carcasses. There isn't anything here that gives this place life. Jesus, how does he operate in here? It looks like we're in a morgue rather than a hospital room. I'd hate to die here, though it seems like many have. It reeks of sterile death. We pass by the table littered with instruments, several of them sharp. If I stab him in the jugular, he won't be able to scream and will be dead within minutes. Then I can make a run for it. I've no idea what the fuck I'm going to do once I get out of here, but there will hopefully be somewhere I can find help. With one quick glance, I note that his focus is straight ahead, intent on his mission to take me for his own. I snatch the scalpel from the metal table, but he hears me coming and turns right as I go to plunge the knife into his neck, slicing his nape instead. Blood spurts onto my face, and I turn away in an attempt to avoid getting any in my eyes. He screams loudly, turning and backhanding me once more, sending me crashing into the unforgiving ground. I land awkwardly on my tailbone, and I yelp from the impact. Agony shoots up my spine, taking my breath away, and he's on me before I can think of what to do next, let alone breathe.
You bitch!
He shouts, his hands circling around my neck and roughly banging my head into the concrete. Stars explode in my eyes, preventing me from seeing anything for several seconds. It feels as if the back of my head has been cracked open, but the hands constricting my windpipe bring me out of the pit of agony. Panic takes over, so intense it feels like poison in my veins. I claw at his hands, leaving bloody scratches in their wake, but they don't deter him. Dr. Garrison's face is contorted into pure rage, his pupils dilated until they're nearly black, and his teeth bared, every single yellow, crooked tooth on display. I thrash and fight, but his hold doesn't lessen. And it's then that my life flashes before my eyes like an old movie reel. My mother gracing me with one of her rare smiles when I say something ridiculous. My father lounging on his chair and yelling at football players on the TV, the most excitement he's ever shown in his entire life. Daya with her head tipped back and laughing loudly at something I said or did, displaying the tiny gap between her front teeth. Something she's always hated, and I've always loved. And then Zaid. The fucking wrecking ball of a man who has brought out such a burning fire within me that I crumble like ash beneath him. Yet he made me feel so strong, so brave. He made me feel so damn loved and treasured, just like a diamond. Although Zaid would never call me something as trivial and common as a diamond, he'd call me the rarest jewel on earth. I should have told him that Just as darkness overwhelms my vision, only a pinpoint of light remains. His hands loosen and something wet and warm floods over my face. Instinctively, I open my mouth, gasping desperately for oxygen as my lungs expand. The taste of copper invades my tongue, and I suck in so deeply that my eyes bug from my head. It takes a few moments to process that only half of Dr. Garrison's head is suspended over me, a mere second before his body topples onto mine. A mixture of coughing and a gurgled scream fights for dominance over my throat. My eyes widen impossibly further as the mangled mess of the doctor's head rests on my shoulder, the pool of crimson seeping into my gown. I nearly convulse from the coughing fit still seizing my throat and the swirl of emotions of being trapped under a corpse with blood dripping in my mouth. More of his brain matter is on me than in his head, or what's left of it.
Stop freaking out, you're fine.
Rio appears above me, staring down at me with annoyance and a tinge of anger.
Get used to the sight of dead bodies, Princess. You're going to see a lot of them where you're going.
Grabbing the scruff of Dr. Garrison's collar, he lifts him up and suspends him over my face again. Immediately, I'm drenched in even more bodily fluids and brain matter. Barely closing my eyes in just enough time, I cover my face as Rio laughs and wrenches the body off of me, dragging him to the corner of the room. Finally, the pressure eases, and I'm able to breathe without coughing. But then a low whimper leaks past my lips. My body curls in until I'm a tight ball, trying not to think about how blood is in my mouth, yet thinking of nothing else. I gag, my stomach revolting from the thought. Something hard nudges my shoulder harshly, halting my retching. I lift my head enough to see Rio's boot, and then proceed to spit on it, pure red splashing on the black leather. 2 birds with 1 stone. A fuck you and an attempt to rid my mouth of Dr. Garrison's blood. Rio doesn't appear bothered by it, though.
You're going to be fine. The dude was trying to kidnap you.
Just as you did. So you're saying you deserve the same fate, right? I hiss, my body beginning to go into shock. I'm trembling violently, and there's a numbness crawling up my arms and legs. Stay calm, Addie. Breathe. Just breathe. Rio laughs while I close my eyes and work not to freak the fuck out. His presence closes in on me. I know that he's crouched down and hovering above me. Warm breath fans across my ear as he continues to chuckle.
You have a smart mouth on you, but in this world, it's not so smart. My advice, dumb it down until the only words you're capable of speaking is yes, sir. You'll last much longer that way.
A tear drips from my eye, and I feel the beginnings of a sob forming at the base of my throat. Isn't that what I'd want? To not last long? Better than suffering forever, right? He sighs wistfully.
You're right. You're going to die here anyway. I guess it's not a matter of how long you last, but rather how bad it hurts when it's over.
My lip quivers. He sighs again, and the frustration has seeped back into his tone.
Come on, get up. We need to get moving.
He stands and walks a few feet away, looking back down at me, waiting for me to follow. Dazed, I manage to sit up. The pain is starting to settle back in my bones, making itself known once again. Can I at least shower first? Rio's eyes sweep my crimson-stained body, and he grins at me.
Sure, Princess. You can shower, but you can't get those stitches wet on your back, so it looks like you'll need my help.
Shit. Eyes boring into my ass were more tolerable than being covered in the entrails of a dead man. I kept my back to him while rivulets of blood washed from my skin. I nearly puked when I saw chunks and fragments of bone swirling toward the drain, too. I mainly stayed out of the water and used a fresh rag and bar soap to clean up. Rio directed me on areas to avoid on my back, but didn't touch me. And for that, I thanked the she-devil above. The hardest part was washing and rinsing my hair without bending too far over and giving him a view of what he called the moneymaker. Fucking asshole. The shower was in a quaint little apartment on a higher level in the building. Much nicer than the makeshift hospital room below, but still no better than a cheap apartment in New York City. I assume it's where Dr. Garrison slept when he wasn't operating on people brought in from human traffickers. He wore a wedding ring, though I saw no evidence indicating that a woman lived here with him. Dear God, I hope she's not chained up somewhere. Now I'm in the back seat of a van again with a dark sack over my head, sopping wet and shivering in my bonds like an old engine. The bastard failed to mention that there were no clean towels and got a kick out of watching me use a hospital gown to dry off. Even more so when I attempted to wrap one around my hair. He wouldn't let me wear it, stating my hair is too pretty to bundle up in an ugly blue gown. But really, I think he just enjoys being a dick. The clicking from my chattering teeth is swallowed by the hard rock music pouring from the speakers. My thick hair is still soaked, and the heat is on low, not nearly enough to keep me warm. If it weren't for the lack of body contortion and levitation, it'd look like I'm in the middle of an exorcism from how hard I'm shivering. It feels like I am. Everything hurts so goddamn bad, and with every tremble, the pain intensifies. I've never been more miserable in my fucking life.
Don't worry, Diamond. We're almost to your new home.
Rick croons, the sound grinding against my already frayed nerves.
Francesca is going to love you.
The ominous tone in his voice tenses my body further. Something about the way he said it makes me feel like I have more to fear from her than any man who comes my way. Who is she? He's quiet for a moment, but it's not Rick who answers.
The one person you want to impress the most.
Rio says, his voice grave. Why?
Because she will determine just how miserable your life will be until you're sold.
My head drops and I squeeze my eyes shut. It's only been 6 days and I feel defeated already. I've been gone for such an insignificant amount of time and my spirit is already fissuring. I take a deep breath and blow it out, slow and steady. I'm not going to give up. I know with every fiber of my being that Zaid is going to do everything in his power to find me. But I'm not going to sit around and wait either. I'll meet him halfway if I can. So, if winning over Francesca is what I need to do, then I'll do it. I've always been stupidly brave, to the point where I've been more stupid than brave. I'm not going to stop now.
Layla, 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 Layla.
Chapter 5.
All right. And that has been chapters 3 and 4 of Haunting Adeline Book 2. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed the chapters. Sadly, I know we're going to have to wait until next week. If I got to wait, y'all got to wait too, all right? So we're going to wait and see what happens, what goes on next. It's funny because in book 1, at the end, we knew it was her, like, grandma or great-grandma Gigi, that was narrating the end. I wonder who it is now that's narrating the end. Are we going to be diving into another little mystery, or are we going to be, is there like a little side story to our two protagonists? I'm excited to see how that fits into everything. But hey, it's just the beginning of the book. We got a lot to go. I'll see you guys next week. For Patreon people, I'll see you on Friday. For you free 99 peoples, I'll see you next week on Tuesday. Love you all and peace.